The next FL Studio update brings a whole bunch of new features and functions to the software. Along with a bunch of other stuff, there's a brand new synthesizer, a really good stereo spreading plugin finally, and there's also this new AI chord generator tool called the CPT or Chord Progression Tool. Depending on when you're watching this video, these updates will either be in the official release or in the public beta. You can get access to that using the link in the description. That Loop Talk forum is a really great place to suggest new features and functions you want to see in the software, as well as getting to test out some of these a little bit early. I know that this CPT is going to annoy some people, basically press a button, generate a song. I know that for most of us that's going to rob all the joy out of making music entirely, but after using it for the last week, I've found two ways to use it that might sort of give you some ideas or inspiration, and it's certainly not just letting a computer write your songs for you. Now, it really is still under development. There's a few things that have to be worked out, and that's why I didn't rush to show it a few weeks ago. It was just crashing. But anyway, the CPT works from the piano roll here. As you can see, it generates and iterates different chord progressions for you. Depending on your inputs, the results can be sort of rather conventional or highly adventurous in the chord voicings and flavors. Individual chords can be regenerated, moved around, you can add passing chords, and there's just dozens of modifiers to fine-tune the results, and in my opinion there's a few too many modifiers. So if we were to say choose a key and a scale, we can generate a progression, and you can see that each chord has multiple alternatives that you can preview and swap in. And you can lock these chords in place if you're happy with them and keep regenerating the others. So that's sounding okay, so we can just accept the results. It will be added to the piano roll, but then if you slice things up, you can open up the chord progression tool again. It's all in there. You can copy, paste, add more chords, so it's quite a flexible tool, but it does take a little bit of getting used to. Now, I've got no interest in just having a chord progression randomly generated for me, so some of the ideas I had were first to sort of spice up a chord progression that you've already made. So I've got one here, I've got this arpeggiator. It's a bit simple. What I'm going to do is open up the CPT. I might lock the chords that I don't want adjusted and just regenerate until I hear something that I like. It's going to be sort of analyzing this progression and fitting in other chords that I just might not have thought of. I mean, I can already hear I need to go in and adjust to the maximum number of notes because it's an arpeggio and I don't want 4 or 5 notes per chord in this instance. Let's find a chord that works. I like that. It's simple, it still works with my idea, but it's taken it in a new direction. Now, the next idea I had was to use this to generate chords when you already have a bass line. So often we start production with the drums and the bass, and maybe you've got an idea for where you want the chords to go and how you want to fill out the rest of the harmonic vision of the song. But you could also say, this thing is, completely open to anyone's interpretation. Let's just see what this does. So if you open it up and press Analyze, now unfortunately at this stage it's not working perfectly. I'm sure it will in the final release. So I can lock different bass notes in place. You can also turn the bass notes on and off. It's a pretty deep tool when you get into it, and I would recommend digging through the manual if you want to understand what all the dials and controls do, because it's just way too deep to cover in a video. It would take at least an hour or more, and it'll be more fun if you use the manual. It will now generate chords that are going to make a little bit of sense based on that bass line, but it might not be what I want at all, so I'm just going to keep adjusting them until I get something that I like the sound of. Some of the controls seem so intuitive, and others I can't tell what they do without opening the manual. The manual's well written, but it's a bit of a pain to have to keep going back in there, especially if you're a beginner using this tool. If you want to shape this into something that's going to be really useful for you, get in that Loop Talk forum, start suggesting things you maybe think they should change or ways to make it more intuitive or make more sense to you, because that way, the users of this software sort of get to shape the future of it instead of ImageLine presenting us with a tool and then us all complaining about it. It can be good to kind of get in early, fix it, and make it the way we want it to be. Because to be honest, I've been impressed and baffled by this tool in equal measure. It's, you know, it's almost there, but I feel right now you need quite a deep understanding of music theory to get very good results out of it. I feel that if you were a beginner, your first couple of days or weeks on FL Studio, if you were just using this to rely on creating a good chord progression, I think you might run into a little bit of trouble, even if you keep to the very conventional settings. But that's exactly what this sort of beta testing is for. Also, you know, I've shared a couple of ways that I think I might use this, that you could use it, but if you've got any bright ideas with this, please do share them in the comments. It's really cool when I share a few ways I might use a tool, and then people watching show me much better ways to use it or more creative ways to use it, and I'm always open to hearing all of that stuff. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.